Memory, 5,164. The first thing he notices about her is her courage. For her to even step foot near his castle, where neither armies nor thieves dare tread, let alone stand here, facing him, not begging, not cowering, just plainly asking for his help. You come to my home and dare to ask me to help you help them? A rumble comes from his chest, a sensation he has not felt in years, perhaps decades. He erupts with laughter. Her face falls, not in deference, but with steely resolve. This sickness can be cured. I'm sure of it. Dracula walks down the stairs, looks at her more closely. The resemblance stops him in his tracks. She looks just like Elizabetha. He pauses for a moment. Could it be? Or has her face faded from his memory over the centuries? I appreciate your bravery in asking this of me, He pauses, gestures towards her. Lisa. My name is Lisa. Memory, 5,181. Dracula wakes as the sun falls over the west. He presses open the door of his coffin and is surprised to see Lisa sitting in his reading chair. You are back early. She stands, walks to him, embraces him. He feels the warmth of her body immediately, radiating through him. It reminds him of how the sun felt on his skin all those years ago. I stayed here today. Dracula smirks. No lives to save today, then? He feels her face form into a smile on his shoulder. Well, I felt rather ill this morning. He frowns, holds her shoulders, looks closely at her face. Have you caught the sickness from them? What can I do? She smiles again, looks at the floor. No, not that kind of ill. I don't understand. I felt ill in the morning. His eyes widen. You don't mean... She places a hand on her belly. Memory, 5,260. When he comes across her body, he takes it in his hands. It is light, lighter than before. Gone is the warmth that once radiated from her like a roaring fire, killed by the ignorance of men, those she had dedicated her life to saving. Perhaps if her heart had been a little smaller, her intentions less grand, she could have been spared. But she pledged herself to fight that disease, and her brilliance led to such success that those fools could only see it as black magic. He holds her broken body in his hands, remembers her words. Do not hate them. But in this moment, he hates them. He hates them for their small minds, hates them for doing this to her. More, he hates them because they forced his hand to go back on his word. He whispers into her lifeless ear, I am sorry, my beloved. I am sorry for the suffering they have brought upon themselves. Memory, 5,279. You cannot do this. His son stands in front of him, in confident defiance of his father. Dracula looks at him. He sees nothing of himself in his son. He sees only Lisa. Dracula turns his head away. I will not let this transgression go unpunished. Please, Father, I am begging you. I saw her. She told me not to save her. Her dying wish was for us to leave them alone. She would never approve of this path. Please, honor her memory. I shall honor her memory by bathing in the blood of those who took her away from us. I grow so weary of their machinations, their craven tactics. To kill her during the day, when they know I could not retaliate, they will suffer as I did. Then I have no choice. Adrian draws his blade, faces his father. I take no pleasure in this, Father. I do this for her. Memory, 5293. He stalks the castle floors, looks upon the army he has raised, terrible, twisted creatures. He hears the grinding of bone across the marble, the flaps of leathery wings. Despite all the noise and chaos, his castle still feels empty. He has spent months gathering this loose coalition of monsters under his banner, but he can feel nothing for them but disgust. He wordlessly walks past the ghouls and devils as they growl and snarl and gnash their teeth at one another. While they will wreak havoc on those miserable souls who took Lisa from him, they will be disorganized. If only his son were here. Death sees the look on Dracula's face and speaks up. He will see reason, Lord Dracula, but he must hear it from you. And how do you suppose I should go about finding him? Well, interesting that, Lord Dracula. Word is that he haunts the very halls of this castle, hiding from the people of Wallachia, from his own true form. He is your heir. He will see reason. Dracula sneers, levels his eyes at death. My heir? I gave him everything, and he turned on me. Tell me, what more a father can I be? What more can I give him to make him see this reason? Death turns his head to the legion of creatures in the great hall. I did not mean to suggest that you had not done everything for him. Just that he lost her too, his mother. And a fire must too burn inside of him. Dracula pauses, considers this advice, considers his own blood somewhere in this very castle, still so close. I shall consider this, Death. Thank you. You have given me much to think about. Memory, 5306. Dracula snarls. Another Belmont. Of course it's another Belmont. Indeed, Lord Dracula, he... Enough! Send everything we have to stop him. Be gone. Belmont. Just saying the name makes his lip curl. Generations upon generations of them, foolishly dedicated to ending vampires' bloodlines. All because their progenitor, Leon, couldn't see the big picture. Foolish or not, that weapon passed down through their family is a true threat. The vampire killer. They never were ones for subtlety. This new one, Trevor. Dracula has heard rumors of him, but nothing that made him sound like anything more than a pale imitation of his forefather. The last of his line, too. Dracula smiles. This may be less of a threat, more of an opportunity. End the cursed Belmont bloodline here, in this castle, and none will stand in his way to bring all of Wallachia to heel. Memory, 5336. Dracula hears the dull thud of footsteps as they march up the stone stairs to his keep. 4, by his count. He sits back in his throne, waits for them to arrive. He looks to the painting of Lisa, unchanged after all these years. He touches his own face, same as it was all those centuries ago. He thought of the sadness that comes with loving a human, watching them grow old, staying the same all the while, never able to truly be present with them through life. When they took her from him, he wasn't even granted sorrow. All he had was rage. The door creaks, opens slowly. I thought you would never get here. I suppose my army wasn't all that I hoped it would be. Trevor stomps into the room, ready for battle. Enough, vampire. Your reign of terror ends tonight. Oh, is that all right, little man? You think you will defeat me? Many have tried. Behind him come others, a young woman, a quiet determination in her eyes. Another, the rebel whose attack he had turned years ago, his curse broken, and his son. The bloodthirsty grin falls from Dracula's face. My Adrian. So, we will do this little dance one more time then. You could have joined me. We could have had our revenge. His son lowers his sword, points it at Dracula. I honor her in my own way, Father.